In traditional Chinese culture, ghost marriage, also known as yin marriage or ghost wedding, has existed for over 3,000 years. Even today, wherever there are Chinese people, or in East Asian countries such as Japan and South Korea, there are customs related to ghost marriage, although the practices may differ from place to place. Ghost marriage is a traditional custom in the Chinese community, which means that the participants in the marriage are not people, but deceased individuals. In the past, in ghost marriages, both men and women were deceased, and they would get married and be buried together. However, with the changing times, there are now also ghost marriages between living people and deceased individuals. Different countries have different folk customs, but generally, it refers to the engagement of a man and woman, and if one of them dies or both of them pass away, the parents would still hold a wedding ceremony to give their children a complete wedding. In Taiwan's ghost marriage customs, if a family's daughter passes away due to an accident or illness, some parents would put their daughter's birth date and time into a red envelope and place it on the road. When someone picks it up, they would have to marry the daughter. This is why elders always remind us not to pick up red envelopes on the road when we were young. The contents of the red envelope are definitely not money, but mostly the deceased's birth date and time, as well as hair, nails, or personal items. Ghost marriages are generally the same as weddings between living people, but the ceremony is simplified, and all expenses are paid by the deceased's family. People from the living world go to the deceased's family to pick up the wooden plaque representing the deceased and bring it home for worship. If the man already has a wife, he still has to treat the deceased wife as his primary wife, and the living wife has to call the deceased wife sister. The children born from this marriage are passed down to the deceased wife's family. On the night of the ghost marriage, the man cannot sleep with any other woman, and there is a custom that he should sleep alone for 7 days or a month. During the New Year or family gatherings, one more set of tableware must be set, and the name of the deceased must be called before eating to show respect. On the second day of the Lunar New Year, the man must visit the deceased wife's family, and other customs make it seem as if the deceased wife is still alive. The customs of ghost marriage originated from people's fear and sympathy for the deceased, and the legend of female ghosts seeking partners in their dreams is not uncommon in Taiwanese folklore. Regardless of whether it is true or false, parents usually carry out the customs to fulfill the needs of their deceased children. Men who marry ghost wives are mostly already married, and there are rarely cases where unmarried men marry ghost wives first. If an unmarried man marries a ghost bride first, he can still remarry and marry a living woman in the future, but he must respect the deceased wife as his primary wife. It should be noted that the practice of ghost marriages has been controversial and criticized in modern society due to the various moral, ethical, and legal issues it involves. However, some people have reported that since the ghost marriage, the husband's career has been thriving, with increasing business success, and even his son's education and career have been excellent, as if receiving blessings from the deceased wife. Regarding the practice of ghost marriage, it can only be said that everyone has different perspectives and thoughts on it. However, a reminder to everyone is that if you travel to Asian countries, please do not pick up red packets on the ground randomly. It